Hello again, Year 6.
Hello.
And it's chapter 26, Lurking
6.
Death.
Ooh.
Just as Stella was pouring the detective a glass of the finest sherry in the kitchen, he entered the room with a great grin lurking under his moustache. The sight of him standing in the doorway, when she turned around, gave her such a fright that she dropped the sherry decanter. Smash! It joined all the other broken crockery that was strewn across the kitchen floor. "Stupid girl," he said. "Sorry, but you frightened me," she replied. "I thought you were still in the library." No, I'm finished in there, miss." Had Detective Strauss found the deeds? Stella couldn't be sure. She had to choose over next words very, very carefully. So did you find anything of interest in there at all?" she ventured. "No, miss, not a sausage." But was the detective telling the truth? For the moment, Stella had little choice but to believe him. She looked down at all the broken crockery on the kitchen floor. "Somewhere down here is the teapot. It's been smashed to pieces. But if I can find just a little bit of it, you can take it to your laboratory in Scotland Yard and test it for traces of poison." The detective shook his head as the girl sank to her hands and knees, sifting through all the pieces of broken crockery. "It must be here somewhere." "I really do not have time for this, miss," snorted the detective. "Can you please just take a look at the teapot?" "No, I cannot, miss," he replied angrily. "This whole investigation is rapidly descending into a farce." The girl was struggling to find any trace of the teapot. Now she felt foolish that she had allowed soot to destroy the best single piece of evidence. "If we can't find the teapot, we might find the poison. Maybe my aunt's hidden it somewhere in here. She might have slipped it out of a tin straight into the teapot," she exclaimed. Stella rushed to the larder, rifling through the hundreds of jars and tins in there. Strauss looked on wearily, his impatient sighs making the girl doubt herself and her search seem completely and utterly pointless. Stu and Stella must have emptied every tin, jar and box in the kitchen, but she couldn't find anything that looked or smelled suspicious. All she unearthed was a mouldy biscuit, the dusty remains of some porridge oats, and a small slice of long-forgotten fruit cake. The slice of cake now had white mould growing on top and a maggot wriggling out of it. Much to the girl's horror, the portly man picked up the slice and wolfed it down in one go. Ooh. And there he is, eating it, with the maggot on the top. "I was wondering when you were going to offer me some cake," mumbled Strauss, his mouth full. "So, miss, have you quite finished this ridiculous game of yours?" "No, and it's not a game," she protested. "You have to believe me, Detective Strauss. Aunt Alberta must have poisoned us all. I am sure of it. Just let me look through these tins one more time." The detective sighed theatrically and made a big show of looking at his gold pocket watch. "As much as I would love to see you clear out the kitchen, I need to be driving back to Scotland Yard before there is another snowstorm. There is important police business to attend to, real crimes to solve, real criminals to catch, not ones drawn from a silly little girl's fanciful imagination." But, protested Stella. "Of course, I will need to file a report as soon as I get to Scotland Yard, so I need you to sign this statement that I have prepared." "Statement?" said Stella. "Yes, miss, it's a standard police procedure. I just need you to sign and date the statement here, at the bottom." The detective dangled an official-looking document in front of her and twirled it around so quickly it was impossible to read it. "What does it say?" Stella's father had always told her never to sign anything that she hadn't read through thoroughly first. "What do you mean, what does it say? It is a summary of all your evidence, miss, and acknowledge that your withdrawal of your allegation because you have realised it is complete and utter nonsense." "It is not nonsense. It is nonsense." "Not nonsense. Nonsense. Not is. Not is." If Stella didn't stop this volley of words, it would go on until dark. "This is getting very childish, Detective Strauss. This is getting very childish, Detective Strauss. Besides, if I am going to even think about signing it, I need to read it first." The detective's face began to get redder and redder, and he produced a thick black ink pen. With every word he uttered, the man jabbed the sharp gold nib of the pen towards the girl. Stella gulped. She was scared he was going to stab her with it. "Sign the statement!" "Let me read it." The detective stopped and smiled before trying another approach. "I will read it for you, miss, and save you the trouble." There he is, intimidating the poor little Stella. And with that, the man gathered the piece of paper so close to his face that Stella couldn't see what was written on it, and proceeded to read aloud. "Henceforth, herewith, I, Lady Stella Saxby, do make the following police statement to one Detective Strauss on the date of December the 22nd, 1933, under Law 92, paragraph 33b. My parents, Lord and Lady, da-di-da-di-dum-di-da-di-da-di-da." The detective seemed to be skim reading it now. "Perish in a motor vehicle crash, la-di-da-di-da. I hereby allege was caused by the ingestion of ground up lurking death plant seeds in the teapot, la-di-da-di-dum-di-dum." The girl fixed the detective with a stare. "What did you just say?" The man looked up from the piece of paper back at the girl. "What do you mean, what did I just say?" The girl's eyes widened. "You said something about lurking death plant seeds being in the tea." "Did I?" Detective Strauss appeared deeply unsettled. Yes, you did. Did you hear that?" Stella knew she was onto something, and something big. I never mentioned them once." "I don't think I did." "You did, and there's no wriggling out of it now." At this point, the man's face was twitching like mad. And the next chapter is called Battle of the Billiards Room. Goodbye.